Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Sunday evening and this evening we're talking preconceptions. Just how we perceive things, what we expect from things, and how wrong we can be. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes not so good. And if you watched the live that Marianne and I did last night, you'll have seen her talk about the food bank. And I'm pretty sure it was last night she said something about the different levels of need at the food bank. Because someone had put in comments, and please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that they're wrong under any circumstances, and this is why I'm talking about preconceptions. Someone had said, but they're refusing tinned foods. Someone, when I had said that I'd put the snacks in the food bank today, and said I would never have thought of putting snacks in. I thought we were going for basics. And someone's also put on one of the videos, how can I be talking about poverty if I live where I live and I have monetised the channel? I am not on the streets. I don't know what it's like. And no, I don't. I did come damn close when I was younger. But no, I don't actually know what that's like. However, I do know what it's like to be close. I do know what it's like to watch every penny, just as we all do. And just to, the way my thought process was going with this was, yep, if you think I'm going to donate to the food bank, normally what we would think is get a load of tins, get like tinned potatoes, corned beef, you can make corned beef hash, get the tinned chew, get the chicken and rice, get loads of pasta, loads of rice. It's filling, it's cheap, it means I can buy a lot of it. And yes, a few years ago that would have been fine. But we've been hit with this double whammy just now. And the energy prices are turning everything on its head. Because now people can't afford to boil the rice for half an hour or boil the pasta for 20 minutes. They can't afford the energy costs for that. They can't afford to heat things in tins that need to be actually proper cooked. They can only really heat things up for a short time. I mean, there's some people are heating things up on candles. And it made me think, just with the comments, and please don't get me wrong, those are not the only 3 comments that have been there. There's many others with people going, yeah, but if there's this, then why is there this? And I think we have so many preconceptions. And as I said about Marianne saying last night, there's different levels of need that is met from a food bank. And at one point, there's people who are in hostels and they're lucky if they've got a kettle. So the best thing for them is things like pot noodles, things like that you can get a meal, your mug shots, things like that all they need to do is boil a kettle, your super noodles and things. Then you get the next stage where, yep, they can use some energy but not a lot. So they are maybe the ones where you give the stewed steak, the cans of stewed steak or such. And then you get the people who are maybe there to top up because they can feed their family-ish, but they're struggling for maybe sanitary products, for cleaning products, for, a little bit extras. They're absolutely running so close to the edge. And I was having a thought of, where do these preconceptions come from? And funnily enough, it's the media. Surprise, surprise. Hey. So what's happening from what I've seen is the media at the moment are saying, oh, well, there's all these food banks. Yes, but if you're on universal credits, just get yourself a better job, do more hours. I'm sorry, what? Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you will see, and I mean, people have said to me, there's actually been comments there going, Karen, you look exhausted. Now, I make a decent wage, But I do a 40-hour week. I do 8 till 5, Monday to Friday. Now, if I was on minimum wage, which thankfully I am not, it's taken a lot of years of experience to not be on minimum wage. I wouldn't like to be a young person just now. But if I was on minimum wage, I would be on my knees, trying to pay the energy bills, trying to pay the council tax, trying to get food, especially being so rural, because you've got a choice. What do? Do you take the local bus up to the small town where there's only a co-op? Or do you pay a couple of pounds more and go into Perth, where there's the big supermarkets, but then there's none of them really very close to where the buses let you off, so you've still got to humph all your shopping everywhere. If you work not in your local town, you've then got your travel costs, people in London, travel costs. There's so many costs, and minimum wage has not, by any manner of means, gone up to any level like being able to keep up with the increases in costs that we're looking at just now. And that's where people are struggling. So, yeah, a lot of your people at food banks just now are working 40 hours a week. Some of them have got 2, 3 jobs trying to make ends meet. And 2 years ago in COVID, or just before COVID, yes, they possibly were making ends meet. Now, in the last 6 months, that's a whole different ballgame. But please don't think that just because someone's going to a food bank that they are at one level or at another level, because you just never know. And for me, it was lovely today because I have, every time you've seen me, I've done the food bank. I'll get pasta, I'll get rice, I'll get stuff, cheap and cheerful, fills you up, does that. And this week they asked for snacks. And it was only when someone said I would never thought of that. And I sat back and went, actually, no, nor would I. But why shouldn't they have a treat at Christmas? Why shouldn't they be able to give their kids some chocolate biscuits or a packet of crisps? Something just that wee bit frivolous. Because there's such a preconception that people who use food banks are homeless because of addiction. That's the story that a lot of the media put out there. And nowadays, that's the minority. The majority of people using food banks, using services, using community fridges, are people who are trying to keep the roof over their head. Never mind feed themselves. So if anyone out there is still able to donate to a food bank this week, let's go and be a bit frivolous. Let's go and give some extra. Because the one good thing about this time of year is so many more people will be donating to food banks or to community fridges or to local charities. And they will be given the basics like I did. But now we know better. So let's us as a community, let's us be the ones who give them that little bit of joy at Christmas. Let's get them some chocolate bars. Let's get them some nice shower gels instead of just pears, bars of soaps for emergencies. Let's get some nice stuff. And let's say Merry Christmas to those who really are struggling. Because, dear God in heaven, they deserve it. So that is my thing for tonight. Preconceptions, we all have them, and at the moment there's a whole lot of them are wrong. So let's turn that on its head and go, do you know something? We're going to be the ones that are going to make them smile. We're going to give that wee bit different. And yes, in January we'll probably need to go back to the basics, because everybody's going to be skint in January, because everyone is going to try their best to give their families the best they can. We always do. And that's what Christmas is about, is to be able to give, to be able to receive, to be able to enjoy with the family, to be able to celebrate. So let's enjoy this, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, the festive season, whatever you celebrate. Let's try and enjoy this festive season. And let's just try spread the joy. Just that little bit. And see how we do. Catch you later.